Steve Dangle here. You know how one takers are kind of hard? Well, I just did one. Drew, was the audio on?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. So we're going to do it again. Here we are at the punchy, silly, running on fumes Leafs recap of the day for free agency. Obviously, Mitch Marner was traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. We knew that was happening last night. I did a video about it on this YouTube channel. It has over 150,000 views. Please go check it out. Matias Maccelli also traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs. That happened yesterday. Did a video about it on this YouTube channel. Check it out. Matthew Knies extension as well. Steven Lorentz extension as well. All of those videos already exist on this channel. Been at SDPN all day long, making content about everything that's been going on around the league. Made a bunch of videos last night. So did Adam. So did Jesse. Today, we did a whole, I think this is video number 15, and it's my second time doing it, so it's sort of 15 and a half. The Leafs, let's do a little recap of everything that they did today, because they're little signings, but there's always some interest in the guys that you don't necessarily know lots about. Remember a couple summers ago, Simone Benoit signed in August, and you're like, who the heck is that guy? But it was like 80,000 people saying, who the heck is that guy, watching that video. And what we discovered is, hey, the Leafs might actually have something here. And I don't think he's Nick Lidstrom, but he's a regular roster player who played playoff games and scored an OT winner for the Leafs in the Sens series. You never know what you're going to get. So let's look at the four guys who the Leafs signed today. Michael Pazzetta. Already talked about him in a video on this channel earlier today, but just to recap, he played 25 games for the Montreal Canadiens this season. He didn't have any points. So why would the Leafs sign him? Well, it's 2 years, $787,000 against the cap. He is 6'1" or 6'2", depending on what you read. I've usually read 6'1", 219 pounds. He is beef, and he is a nail gun. You, as a Leafs fan, should already be very acquainted with this person, because in every Leaf game between the Leafs and Habs, he's just running around out there, running his mouth, getting in your face after the whistle, throwing 1,000 hits. And if you get in his face about it, he'll fight you. He fought Wayne Simmons a few years ago. He fought Ryan Reeves. If you go to his page on hockeyfights.com, Michael Pazzetta, despite not necessarily being a big heavyweight, will fight anybody in the league. Win, lose, or draw. He's got ridiculous hair. He's got ridiculous facial hair as well. And the Italian community will love the fact that of the double Z, double T. Michael Pazzetta is a Toronto Maple Leaf, local Toronto boy. Again, if you want to see my full recap, that is the most recent video on my channel before this one. Now this one's interesting. We talked about Simone Benoit. We didn't know anything about the guy. Now we know all about the guy. Here's someone who he played with, albeit briefly, with the San Diego Gulls and with the Anaheim Ducks. Benoit-Olivier Groulx, who I honestly didn't know much about. I do recognize his name. Real interesting story here. He is a second-round pick, 54th overall from 2018. Now, that's not relevant to his current abilities, right? It's 2025, but he was once thought of in that regard. And the reason for that, in his draft year, 28 goals, 27 assists, 55 points in 68 games with the Halifax Mooseheads of the QMJHL. The next season, he improved on that. 31 goals, 49 assists, 80 points, 41 points, and then he gets traded 37 points still in the same season. You saw the improvements continue throughout his junior career. Okay, that's his junior career. What about his AHL numbers? Dude, they're always good. With the San Diego Gulls, 42 games played, 10 games, 19 assists, 29 points for the left-hand shot center. I should probably throw that in there. Also with the San Diego Gulls, 40 games played, 11 goals, 11 assists, 22 points. I'm not just going to read off the stats. Stick with me for a second. 63 games played, 18 assists, 18 goals, 21 assists, 39 points. And then this past season with the Hartford Wolfpack, because he ended up signing a contract with the New York Rangers, 47 games played in the American Hockey League, 15 goals, 22 assists, 37 points. He did not get a sniff of the NHL this past season. All that to say, he is obviously, or was obviously, a very good producer in the QMJHL, but that's a league where you can score a lot. Okay, The AHL, it's professional hockey. It's not as easy to score. He has proven to be a very effective producer at the AHL level. Despite that, he's gotten into 65 NHL games, all of them with the Anaheim Ducks. 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. That's it. I find it fascinating that he hasn't been able to crack the code in the NHL. And I'm not about to sit here and go, what if he can do it with the Leafs? But what if he can do it with the Leafs? I don't know. I think mostly he's a depth option for the team who has lost some guys up the middle. Lost some guys today. Nick Abruzzese played for the Marlies up the middle. He's gone. Alex Steeves played for the Marlies up the middle, although he was mostly a wing when he ever came up to the NHL with the Leafs. He's gone. They need these guys, and Groulx appears to be a very good option. I wonder if they even carry him as an extra, although I kind of doubt it. Someone who I do think is going to be carried as an extra, and if he's not, he'll be excellent in the minors. Travis Boyd. That's a name you might recognize. Now, if you're a Leaf fan, you never saw him play in person. And the reason for that isn't because he exclusively played home games, or rather road games. He played 20 games, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points with the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 2020-2021 season, the COVID bubble that was exclusive to Canada. And I remember he had like a little hot streak where it's like, this guy should never come out of the lineup. And when that died, you saw his defensive deficiencies and you're like, oh, maybe take him out expeditiously. He is 6 foot, 190 pounds. So he's just about bang average around this league. He did win a cup with the Washington Capitals in 2018. He played the vast majority of that season with the Hershey Bears of the AHL, but he did play 8 games in the regular season and even got into a playoff game that year with the team. He only played 3 games with the Minnesota Wild in the NHL last year, but in his 63 games in the AHL, he proved he's still a banger of a AHL producer. 22 goals, 31 assists, 53 points in 63 games. He reminds me a little bit of Tim Stapleton. If some of you were like, who the hell is Tim Stapleton? Dude, Tim Snipleton. He was awesome with the Marlies, another right-handed shot center in the AHL, but like kind of the definition of a tweener. Like he even went to the KHL and he dominated there, but wasn't quite able to get it done at the NHL level. He did have a few cups of coffee. He did put up some points, right? He did stay in the league for a little bit. I mean, Travis Boyd is sitting at 299 career NHL games played in the regular season. He needs 1 more to hit 300. I would have no problem with this guy playing games for the Toronto Maple Leafs next season, but it's going to have to be in an injury situation. I wonder if he's a guy who the Leafs carry as an extra. And last, one of my favorite stories, underrated stories from last season, Dakota Mermis. The Leafs signed him last summer, coming off of a season where he played 47 games with the Minnesota Wild, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points. He fought a couple times. He's a nasty player, and he was giving me a little bit of Simone Benoit vibes. Maybe this guy could be the diamond in the rough who wasn't on a very good team. Remember, 2 years ago, the Wild weren't very good. They were pretty good last year. Maybe he could be that for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, what happens is in training camp is he breaks his jaw. So while he's recovering from that for weeks and months, the Leafs are paying for him to rehabilitate. They're helping him with his treatment and everything. But at the end of it all, he needs to be sent down to the Toronto Marlies of the AHL, and he needs to clear waivers to do so. What happens? Utah claims him because they really need a defenseman. He plays 1 game for them. No goals, no assists, no points, took a penalty, and was a -2. It was a disaster. When Utah eventually put him back on waivers, he ends up getting claimed again by the Leafs. 32 games played with the Toronto Marlies, 7 assists, and then he even plays 3 games with the Leafs at the very end of the regular season, and he even picked up an assist. I think it might have been in that ridiculous last game that I think was against the Red Wings. It might have even been on the overtime winner. What this gives Dakota Mermis is a mulligan on last season. He has a chance to start fresh. He has a chance to come into camp and not break his jaw. He has a chance to prove that he should be with the big club all season. Again, remember, they need extra guys. So he's going to be battling the likes of Philip Myers for an extra spot on this team. If they carry 3 extras, you would think that it's 2 forwards and a D, but in the case where it isn't, I would imagine Myers and Mermis are the extras, and it's jump ball for the last spot. up front. Like, we don't know if Ryan Reeves is going to be back. I don't think he is. We don't know what's going to happen with Nick Robertson. It sounds like Pontus Holmberg is going to the Tampa Bay Lightning. There's still some questions to be asked and answered here in Leafs land. So, with that all being said, if you've never checked out SDPN, today is the friggin' day. We have done so much content over the last 24, 48 hours. If you've never given us a shot, you must go over to the SDPN YouTube channel, click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends, check out all the delicious content that we have made for you. But my friend, we're going to finally get out of here. For now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like. Are you serious, Drew? Oh my God. He said I'm not rolling. Oh, you. Oh. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends and enemies.